Hare Krishna. And good evening and welcome all of you all for the Saturday evening Bhagavatam class. So we start with our Mangalachan is already over, so we start with the verses directly. We have completed up to verse number 34. So we will revise verse number 34 before we go to verse number 35. So can anyone read?
If the illusionary energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory.
Okay, I want to speak something, but if I speak, I won't be able to complete the chapter. So we'll take the next one.
Thus, learned men describe the birth and activities of the unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable, even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart.
Next verse.
The Lord, whose activities are always spotless, is the master of six senses and is fully omnipotent with six opulences. He creates the manifested universes, maintains them, and annihilates them without being in the least affected. He is within every living being and is always independent.
Yes. So these three verses, what does these three verses speak about? It speaks about the greatness about the Lord. Shh, I want silence. He is talking about the Vyasa is describing about the greatness of the Lord. So what is the greatness of the Lord? Lord is, see the characteristics which have been given now. Humanly it is not acceptable. Now let us read those characters. First and foremost, the Lord's activities are always spotless. और हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? भगवान एक नंबर का चोर है. चोरी स्टार्टिंग लाइफ का स्टार्टिंग ही उन्होंने चोरी से की. इसके लिए पैदा भी जेल में हुआ. तो दैट इज द डिफरेंस ना. असली भगवान जेल में पैदा होकर बाहर आते हैं और नकली जो भगवान सब बाहर पैदा होते हैं और जेल में जाते हैं. So that is the difference. So the point what we have to understand here is Lord's activities are spotless. Now what is the meaning of this activity as spotless? Mainly general people have got two big problems with it. Especially with Krishna. So only Vishnu avatar के साथ इतना problem नहीं है, Krishna avatar के साथ बहुत problem. And what are the two problems? एक तो चोरी का और दूसरा रास लीला. What is the problem? But how to understand that? 64 कला है. कहाँ सीखे भगवान? Sandeepani Maharaj. At Jivan. Under his guru he learned, and in 64 days he learned the 64 kalas. That is the greatness of the Lord. And उसमें से एक कला है चौर्य कला. चौर्य कला means चोरी भी एक कला. Water leaf. सब लोग अपना काम धंधा छोड़ के चलो भगवान ने चोरी कला सीखा, हम भी चोरी कला करके हम भी चोरी करने जाएंगे. बट प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दिस. चोरी कला का मतलब क्या है? दिस कैन बी डन. चोरी कर सकते हैं बट ऑन व्हाट कंडीशन? इट शुड ओनली फॉर द गिविंग द प्लेजर टू oneself and to others. You know, nowadays we play so called pranks. Now if I have to come back to our level and speak, then आप लोग yes sir Roji, like in between that idiotic bucket of ice they used to pour, many people died also. Many people died in that so-called joke or prank, whatever you call it. But still we crack a lot of pranks. What is the meaning of those pranks? Just for fun. I don't know, like college में, like we used to go for what do you say, camps and all. तो उसमें कई बार हम लोग ऐसा कपड़ा पहन के भूत बना के डराते थे, या किसी को ऊपर सोता हुआ आदमी को ऊपर आंख ऊपर कोलगेट का टूथपेस्ट लगा देते. It's a common prank, and the best joke is it should be done in winter, especially when you are out in Lonavala or somewhere. Winter is biting winter, January and all. वो टाइम पे आंख ऊपर कोलगेट डालना और फिर दो चार झापड़ मार के चलना. That used to be a prank. In our college days, we used to do that all right. And why? Because वो आँख खोलेगा. आँख खोलते ही ऐसा जलन होगा ना, because the mint inside that gives you a terrible burning feeling. and then he has to wash his face. And winter you don't feel like washing your face. You don't like to take bath. And night at 2 o'clock you don't get any water also. एक तो आप उसको दिखता नहीं कौन किया और ऊपर से मुंह धोना पड़ता. So as long as it's a prank, it's a joke, it's fine. But then when it goes to ragging and all, sometimes it goes to taking someone's life. Similarly, Chaurya Kala is a kala wherein Lord does for the fun. आपने लाख कोशिश की मटके को ऐसा बांध के रखो कि कृष्ण ने चोरी नहीं कर सके, बट इच्छा है भगवान आके चोरी करे. आप गोपी की इच्छा है तभी भगवान आते हैं, अगर इच्छा ना हो तो लॉर्ड इज नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. नो द एंटायर प्रोसेस, दही दूध को गर्म करना, फिर दही जमाना, उसके बाद उसको द बेस्ट जो, अगर दही जमा के आप उस जमे वो दूध को हिलाते रहो, जमेगी दही. मगर दही जमने के बाद जब तक आप उसको हिलाते नहीं रहोगे, मतते नहीं रहोगे, मक्खन निकलेगी. एंड भगवान को क्या चाहिए? मक्खन चाहिए. And what does that represent? It represents the heart of a devotee, which is white and soft. Which is white and soft. But there is a process. I want to complete this chapter today, so I will not tell you the process. नहीं तो प्रभु, I don't think in this birth I will be able to complete the entire Bhagavatam. But it's like how one guru comes in your life and guru sets the dahi जमाता है, तो दही उससे दही जमता है, पर उसमें अचल होना चाहिए. All that is a lot of philosophy that. But ठीक है, now let's go ahead. So all his activities are matchless or spotless, sorry, and it cannot be matched. But every word people say, who are the gopis? When we read the Gopi Geet, we understand the gopis were none other than
Sages.
the great sages. जो ऋषि मुनि थे, वो लोग ही आए थे. All the Mathura ladies who wanted to enjoy with Ramchandra ji, they came as gopis. Millions of gopis were there. It was not one or two. जो शांत रस में थे वो पेड़ बन के बैठे थे, भगवान उसके ऊपर चलते थे, उस पेड़ के नीचे सोते थे. But those who are in माधुरी रस, उनके लिए क्या? उनके लिए सब गोपी बन के आए. And that लीला he had done because that अवतार ही उन्होंने उसके लिए लिया था ताकि उसमें वो लीला कर सके. So one has to understand Lord's leelas are spotless, and He is the master of 6 senses, and we are slave of 6 senses. हम गुलाम हैं, हमने इंद्रियों के गुलाम हैं. पर कोई आपको बोले आज हमारे यहाँ पे पार्टी चल रही है, बढ़िया है, बढ़िया पार्टी चल रही है, प्रभु जी आज तबीयत ठीक नहीं, मैं क्लास में आ सकता. सिंपल, यार ट्रैफिक बहुत है, मैं नहीं आ सकता हूँ. वहां के लिए ना तबीयत खराब होती है ना ट्रैफिक लगती है, वहां जाके बैठ जाते हैं. So that is why we are slave of our senses. And always example what I say, एक पानी पूरी खाने के लिए यहाँ से वटकुपर जाएंगे, एक पाव भाजी खाने के लिए यहाँ से वहां जाएंगे. क्यों? Slave of our senses. We are all slave of our senses, and that is the opposite. That is why भगवान समझ में नहीं आता, बहुत complicated है, because he is opposite, we are opposite, and fully omnipresent with 6 opulences. What are the 6 opulences? What are the 6 opulences of the Lord?
Renunciation,
Balwan.
Balwan,
इधर से थोड़ा, इधर से थोड़ा, इधर से थोड़ा, नहीं.
Virajavan.
हाँ देखा.
But I said renunciation.
Yeah.
बलवान, धनवान, रूपवान, ज्ञानवान, ऐश्वर्यवान, वैराग्यवान. There are the 6 opulences of Lord, but everyone has got all of this little bit. सब में आपका अपने अंदर थोड़ा वैराग्य है, थोड़ा अपने अंदर क्या बोलते हैं बल है, थोड़ा धन है, थोड़ा रूप है, थोड़ा ऐश्वर्य है, मगर भगवान में संपूर्णता. And in all the leelas, he has exhibited those leelas, those qualities very nicely. And that is the very purpose he incarnates. If he doesn't incarnate, how will you enjoy these qualities? आप बोलेंगे नहीं प्रभु जी पवित्रनाय साधुना विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम्. अरे बाबा उसके लिए कोरोना भी काफी है, एक वायरस भेज देंगे काफी है, एक वॉर या युद्ध करा देंगे काफी है, कुछ नहीं तो हार्ट अटैक में ही मार सकते हैं. बट The Lord comes because He wants to reciprocate with His devotees in these rasas. The 5 rasas, what are the main 5? I told 12 rasas, but इसमें से the 5 rasas are very important. And what are the 5 rasas? Main 5 rasas? वो the last में है वो पहले है. शांतरस, दास्यरस, साक्ष्यरस, वात्सल्यरस, and then madhurya. These are the 5 rasas. इन रस भाव में ही भगवान के साथ भक्त आदान प्रदान कर सकते हैं. कुछ इसी एक रस में तो आपको आना ही पड़ेगा. Without that you cannot. It is impossible to communicate with God in any one of the rases. You have to take part. आप बिना रस के आप भगवान के साथ नहीं जा सकते. You can't interact with God, or you can't, enjoy the presence of God. He creates, manifests the universe, maintains them, and annihilates them. मतलब creator, maintainer, and destroyer. तीनों वही है, but through different agencies. But he does through the 3 agencies, different agencies. He does all the 3 activities, and without being least affected. And we कुछ उनको बड़ा श्रम नहीं करना पड़ता. क्रिएशन करना है भी, 10 ट्रक मट्टी मंगाओ यार, धरती बनाना है. फोन अप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बोला कि ब्रह्मा जी ने आज मैं काम पे नहीं आऊंगा. कॉमन प्रॉब्लम ना with when you are doing with people, laborers and all that. आज मैं काम पे नहीं आता. God doesn't have to face all these problems. अरे रेती नहीं आया, सीमेंट नहीं आया. In fact, we are using Lord's material to create something. We are using God's creation for our own purpose. But God doesn't have to order cement लाओ, ईटा लाओ, ये लेके आओ, लकड़ा लेके आओ, बनाओ. But just by His इच्छा, it's by His desire, He creates the entire Brahmand. Entire 14 planetary systems He makes. And everything works perfectly. You cannot find out any problem. कोई लोग रहते हैं भगवान के क्रिएशन में प्रॉब्लम है. हाँ, देख सब गड़बड़ करते हैं. अभी एक आदमी दूसरे आदमी को बोल रहा है, भगवान देख क्या गड़बड़ करते हैं, कुछ भी काम ढंग से नहीं. तो नारियल का झाड़ इतना ऊपर, अगर इसको निकाल के पीना है तो कितना ऊपर चढ़ के थोड़ी पी. तो कुछ नहीं, ठीक. थोड़ा देर आगे गया, आगे झाड़ के नीचे सो रहा था, ऊपर से आम गिरा, टक सर पे गिरा. बोला नहीं यार, भगवान ने सही बनाया. अच्छा हुआ कलिंगन नहीं लगा. So some people can find out faults in God's creation also. But God, whatever He does is perfect. His creation is working perfectly. There is no holiday for sun, there is no holiday for moon, there is no holiday for the seasons. Everything perfectly comes. So whatever God does is perfect. And the most important thing, He is within everything, every living being, and is always independent. Now, can anyone give me this understanding of He is within every being? That is fine, in the form of Paramatma. He is not only inside every living being, He is inside each and every atom. But how is Lord independent? How is Lord independent? रॉकेट साइंस का क्वेश्चन पूछता नहीं. हाँ, हाँ, the Sanskrit word is.
He does not. He gives you the free will to take care. He is watching you, but He doesn't interfere in the actions of the soul.
Yeah, how is He is independent? How is He?
Because any reactions, karmas of the soul does not act on him. He is
Very good.
totally independent of the karma reactions.
Very nice. You are very nice, but this is a very important point. That's only half answer now. Not the full answer.
You can't control him.
Can we control ourselves? Can we control ourselves? We are independent. He is saying, I am independent. मैं घर का मालिक हूँ, कोई कुछ नहीं बोल सकता है. और पेट में गुड़गुड़ हो गया तो पहला भागना पड़ता है ना. तो you are not independent, you are dependent. कहीं ना कहीं आप डिपेंडेंट हो, कोई इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है. हर कोई व्यक्ति किसी न किसी व्यक्ति पे या किसी न किसी चीज पे डिपेंडेंट है. क्या what do you think?
We are under the Maya. He is the controller of the Maya. So he
No.
can.
He is not controlled by his senses.
No, that's all, sir. Your point has to be reframed. You have to understand. Though he is the creator of the Maya, he is not under Maya. Though he is the creator of the Maya or the three modes of nature, he doesn't come under the three modes of nature. That is why he creates the three modes of nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, but he is not in any one of the three. He is neutral. He is Vishuddha Sattva. That is it. Okay. Next verse. Who will read the next verse? 3:7.
The foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things neither in their speculations nor in their words.
You know, this word foolish has got a lot of depth, understanding. Why every time, be it Shankaracharya, be it Vyasdev, he writes again and again the word foolish, mudha. क्यों लिखते हैं?
Because being a living entity, we chose to not we chose being
मतलब यहाँ पे हम लोग भागवत की बात कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे लोग भागवत कथा सुन रहे हैं. अब यहाँ बैठे जितने भी आत्माएं हैं, सबको पता है आई एम नॉट द बॉडी, आई एम द सोल, एंड मुझे इंद्रियों की तृप्ति नहीं करनी चाहिए, इंद्रियों को गुलाम नहीं होना चाहिए. फिर भी उसको याके फूल poor fund of knowledge.
Because we have the knowledge, but yet we don't implement it.
So how do we understand that?
That's why
Through Shastras.
That's why he's calling us moon.
No, because even after knowing, we are doing the same thing. So, मतलब पता होके करना, that is
Still more foolish.
so that's why it's
They are big fools. Now, there are 2 points from the Shastra you can understand. Now, कई बार गुरु का काम रहता है. गुरु का क्या काम रहता है? लोगों को जगाना. भाई सो मत, उठो. And always I make the statement nowadays it's उल्टा. अगर कोई लेट तक सोता है तो नॉर्मल. उस जमाने में कोई लेट तक सोता है तो बीमार. आजकल जल्दी उठ गया तो तबीयत खराब है. What is wrong with you? You got up early. Today there's something wrong with you. So the purpose of any spiritual master or any guru, be it Shiksha Guru or be it Diksha Guru, he is basically supposed to wake you up. Wake you up from the sleep of ignorance. That is why sleep is called as ignorance. And इसमें उठाने के बाद दो तरह के लोग, अंदर का which category are you looking at smiling? दो तरह के लोग होते हैं. कुछ इसको एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल से हम लोग समझें. एक बार हनुमान जी एज यूजुअल सुंदरकांड में क्रॉस करके लंका पार गए. लंका में उतरे. बाहर कौन मिली गेट के बाहर? लंकिनी मिली. और बोला हम रुक, तुझे जाने नहीं दूंगी. हनुमान भाई क्या है, छोटा सा बंदर है, ऐसे टूरिंग करने आया हूँ, सिटी टूर करने आया हूँ, जाऊंगा टूर करके बाहर आ जाऊंगा, ज्यादा एक आध दो फल खाऊंगा, तुमको क्या प्रॉब्लम? नहीं, मैं चोरों को अंदर अलाउ नहीं करता. व्हाट डिड शी से? मैं चोरों को अंदर अलाउ नहीं करता. तो हनुमान जी ने पूछा, सबसे बड़ा चोर तो अंदर बैठा है, दूसरी की पत्नी को उठा के ले, उसको अलाउ किया? नहीं, आई विल नॉट अलाउ यू. देन you all know Hanuman ji just give one reverse hand slap. Reverse hand, so straight hand, reverse hand slap. And after getting the slap, Lankini vomited blood and she said, sorry, you wins. When Hanuman ji went inside, created all the havoc. It's not mentioned in any shastra, it's just there's so much noise, just check it out. Ask them to keep silence. So they went inside. Hanumanji went inside Lanka, and then after burning everything of the Lanka and everything, a big fight with all the asuras. Finally, Hanuman and Ravan came face to face. So it just said by Acharya, some Acharyas just give this example so that we understand. So Hanuman said, Ravan said, see, why you are what creating all this destruction? कितना नुकसान क्यों कर रहे हो? Let's have one-to-one fight. जो जीता वो hero, जो हारा वो हारा. खत्म. Why mess around here and there? So Hanuman ji said, okay, fine. But ऐसा तो युद्ध तो एक घंटा चलेगा, एक साल चलेगा, because I am also powerful, you are also powerful. नहीं, we will not make it more simple. So T20 started from that. You hit me one punch, I will hit you one punch. इतना simple. मतलब one over. 20 overs भी नहीं, one over this. ठीक. So who will hit first? तो हनुमान जी बोले पहले आप hit. जैसे कि मैं मारूंगा फिर बाद में आप चांस मिले ना मिले आपको, तो मैं आप ही मार दूँ. तो हनुमान जी की मुद्रा में वायु मुद्रा थी, उस पर बैठ गए और जोर से रावण gave a full blooded punch, and then after hitting bing bing करके आवाज आ रहा है, and हनुमान जी को कुछ नहीं हुआ, वहीं खड़े थे. तो अभी हनुमान पूछा, रावण आर यू रेडी? रेडी रहना पड़ेगा ना, मेरी बारी है तो मुझे रेडी रहना. ओके कम. Hanuman gave one solid punch. Immediately Ravan fainted. After a few seconds or few minutes, he regained conscious. Wow, what a punch! Really rocked me out. Super. So, Acharyas say, one backhanded slap Hanuman gave to Lankini, and she immediately understood. Here, full-handed punch, full-blown punch was given to Ravan. यहाँ तक कि वो unconscious गिर गया. But after getting up to consciousness, did he change? What did he say? Yeah, Hanuman, solid. दिल पे लग गए एकदम सॉलिड. और कुछ लोग भी ऐसे क्लास आते हैं, कथा सुनते हैं, उनको फुल हैंड पंच भी दूं ना मैं मुड़ के, प्रभु जी द क्लास वाज सुपर, क्या कथा सुनाई आपने? अरे कथा सुनाया क्यों? फॉर यू टू चेंज. बट वी आर फूलिश men of poor intelligence. और हम लोग क्या करते हैं? कथा सुनने के बाद, ओके प्रभु जी वेरी नाइस क्लास, दिल को छू लिया आपने, बट आई डोंट वांट टू चेंज. आई विल बी लाइक रावण as it is. As it is, I will not change. I will be like Ravan. So this is one of the common problem which people generally face. This is an example of poor fund of knowledge or a foolish person. Lankini was smart. With one slap, she learned whom to allow and whom not to allow. But here, Ravan was appreciating Hanuman, but he was not learning anything from that. So it is always said, when a guru gives knowledge, Acharyas say very nicely, the guru's knowledge is like a full-blown punch. Now, whether you want to take it, appreciate it only, or implement it in that. वाह प्रभु जी आपने सही बोला, बहुत बढ़िया बोला. क्या है ना प्रभु जी, हमसे नहीं होता. क्या हमसे नहीं होता? Then what is it? You are Ravan. That example I gave ना few days before. आपका सिर कटता है, दूसरा सिर आता है. Same, similar to that situation. So this is why we are called as foolish fund of knowledge. And what do we do in this foolish fund of knowledge? We try to find out faults in the Supreme Lord, who is spotless. Who is spotless? उसके अंदर कोई गलतियां नहीं, कुछ खराबियां नहीं है, और हम लोग उसके अंदर खराबियां ढूंढते हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग उसी चीज में एक्सपर्ट है ना. अगर दो जन मिल जाए, कितने भी हंसी मजाक का बात क्यों ना हो जाए, घर में आके उसके बुराई करने में हम लोग इसके वी आर वेरी गुड एट फाइंडिंग आउट द फॉल्ट्स ऑफ अदर्स। अब दूसरों की गलतियां निकालने में हम लोग एक्सपर्ट हैं, पर अच्छाई है कभी नहीं। अच्छा ठीक है, अच्छा है, ठीक है, कितना दिन चलता है देखते हैं, वो भी बोलेंगे। That's the problem. So that's why Lord's activities is like an actor in a drama. ड्रामा में एक्टिंग होता है ना, वैसे भगवान जो लीला करते हैं वो सब ड्रामा है। एवरीवन बता रहे रामचंद्र जी क्या वो भगवान है क्या है, कैसे भगवान? पत्नी गई, हे सीते, अरे यार उनका ड्रामा चल रहा है प्रभु। He is doing a big drama. He is trying to enact something which he is enjoying. What is your problem? It took so long. अगर ये रेट के हिसाब से मेरा प्रॉब्लम अगर भगवान के पास लेके जाऊं तो That's why most of the people see there are fools, nuts. पत्नी को रावण उठा के ले गए and imagine Ramchandra ji sitting in Shabari's ashram and eating bhel. Just imagine if this is a fact in today's date, if someone's wife is kidnapped, कैसा चिटपटा है हाँ, ये आराम से बैठ के नकली लेके गया है, उसको क्या मतलब? This is why he is called as an actor who is playing a right role. We don't understand that. Lord is so great. That's why we are fools. They nor can they express such things neither in their speculations nor in their words. They can only fight. हाँ, सीता का अग्नि परीक्षा, सीता का अग्नि परीक्षा करना वो सही है। हाँ, वाली को छुप के मारा वो सही है। They cannot reason out. They can only, these fools can only fight for this. You know, okay, I have to complete this chapter. Next verse.
Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power and transcendence.
Is there any verse in the Bhagavad Gita anybody is remembering? Oh, yes, in Bhagavad Gita, anybody remembers the verse? 18th chapter, चलो फ्लो भी दिया। भक्त्या माम अभिजाना 18.55. Lord clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita, भक्त्या माम अभिजाना यस्व अस्मिन् तत्त्वतः ततो माम तत्त्वतः ज्ञात्वा विष्यते तत् अनंतरम. You come to me only by bhakti. भक्त्या माम अभिजाना. Only by bhakti one can know Lord in fullness, in complete. Not by any other process. Karma योग, ज्ञान योग किसी से नहीं होने वाला है. सिर्फ only and only by bhakti you can get to understand the Lord fully. That is why he uses the word tattvataha. Tattvam में जानना. And in the verse also we read ना, वदन्ति तत्तत्त्वविदः तत्त्वं यज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानेति शब्दते. Lord clearly says, if you want to know in tattva, you should know all his aspects. Brahman, Paramatma and ये तीनों एस्पेक्ट. मगर आचार्यगण कहते हैं भगवान जान लिया तो अपने आप बाकी तो आ जाएगा. अब भगवान को जान लिया ना, बाकी तो अपने आप, because he reveals. You don't find out. He reveals. So one has to understand that. One has to understand that it is only and only by Lord's will can one know about the Lord. Two, Lord has to give you the. You can only approach Lord with devotional service, bhakti. भक्ति के अलावा आप भगवान के पास किसी भी तरह जाके आपको ज्ञान मिलेगा नहीं. Okay, next verse. Yeah, 45 है ना verse?
40.
नहीं 45 तक है ना verse?
44.
40 हाँ.
Only by making such inquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant for such inquiries invoke transcendence, aesthetic love onto the personality of God, who is the proprietary of all the universe and guarantee same person immunity from the dreadful reputation of birth and death.
See, we always, people say, अरे क्या आपका क्लास में आया तो बार बार वही जन्म मृत्यु के चक्कर से बाहर निकलना है, क्या जन्म मृत्यु से बाहर निकलना है? Please understand this. This birth may be somewhat comfortable to you. You may not be seeing the torture what you are undergoing, but every birth will not be that nice because our karma balance is horrible. And what does this say? This verse clearly says, only by making such inquiries in this world, one can be successful. So, what is the inquiry we should make in this world?
Who am I?
Who am I?
What is my wish?
Atato Brahma Jigyasa. We should have Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Who am I? मैं कहाँ से आया हूँ? मुझे कहाँ जाना है मृत्यु के बाद? इस धरती पे मेरा क्या काम है? बस आहार निद्रा भय मैं तुम खाऊं सो जाऊं पेट भर के खाऊं अच्छी तरह से सोऊं बच्चे पैदा करूं और अपना संरक्षण करूं पैसा कमा यही because we are all covered by Maya. I very sure 90% of the Indian population or 60% of the Indian population must have been very sad after getting the news of Lalit Modi. So 80% of the Singh must have got shocked. Arey pura Jivan, all nonsense. And in the end, what a Galitam film. Please understand, this is Maya. He is not having this inquiry. What is the use of all the money, all the wealth and all the things, goody things one may possess? But if he doesn't have this, higher inquiry. मैं कौन हूँ, मैं कहाँ से आया हूँ, मेरा इस धरती पे मेरा क्या काम है, मृत्यु के बाद मैं कहाँ जाऊँ, ये इंक्वायरी नहीं करूँ. And people are envious. Hi. Fools. He is a fool. But followers are bigger fools. You must be putting up hopes also. जिनके होप्स गए जा चुके वो भी अभी होप्स लगा के बैठे होंगे इसको. तो कहने का मेरा भावार्थ ये है कि this is how reality is and this is how शास्त्र is. हमको तत्व अपना ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा होना चाहिए और यहाँ पे व्यक्ति इंद्रिय तृप्ति की जिज्ञासा करता है. What I can do better I can enjoy. जिज्ञासा हम भी करते हैं, है ना? फोन करते हैं कल कौन सा डेस्टिनेशन में घूमने जाऊँ, कल कौन सा इधर जाके खाना खाने जाऊँ, कौन सा होटल में अच्छा खाना मिलेगा, मुगलाई खाना कहाँ अच्छा मिलेगा, ये खाना कहाँ अच्छा मिलेगा. तो जिज्ञासा हम भी करते हैं. प्लीज everyone is in जिज्ञासा. How to do better? Sense. But ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा छोड़ना है यार, अभी थोड़ी उम्र है, बाद में करना. और वो बाद कभी आएगा नहीं, गारंटी. Because by the time you reach that age, you are so much engrossed in these worldly matters that you cannot come out of the worldly matters. That is why in those days, why it is said, one has to follow the 4 ashrams: brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, then sannyas. यहाँ पे grahastha तो खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा. After Lalit Modi, then you are going to get vanaprastha and then you are going to do sannyas. Grahastha, never ending. चल रहा है. That is the problem. Please, we have to have this inquiry. ये major inquiry नहीं है. It's a big waste. And then perfectly cognizant who such inquiries evoke transcendental love. And ये inquiries जो है, these inquiries, what inquiries? Transcendental inquiries. वे कृष्ण क्यों ऐसे कर रहे हैं? भगवान ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं? भगवान माखन क्यों चोरी कर रहे हैं? भगवान का क्या क्या लीला हुआ? ये इंक्वायरी से आपको क्या मिलने वाला है? You will get ecstatic love for the Lord. भगवान के प्रति प्यार बढ़ेगा. कि हम लोगों ने तो प्यार, भगवान अगर लीला ही नहीं करते तो आप क्या सुनते, क्लास ही नहीं होता। अगर भगवान लीला नहीं करते तो यहाँ क्लास ही नहीं होता। भगवान कुछ लीला किया तो स्टडी मटेरियल मिला ना अपने को, स्टडी मटेरियल, रीडिंग दैट स्टडी मटेरियल, तो स्टडी मटेरियल नहीं रहता ना, कुछ लीला करके, ना व्यास जी कुछ लिखते, ना कुछ पढ़ते। So this is what is most important. You have to understand that we develop transcendental love for the Lord, who is the proprietor of all the universe, and guaranteed 100% immunity from the dreadful repetition of birth and death. The problem is Maya covers very nicely. We are never understood that birth and death is dreadful. You go and no, it's very difficult. Doctor Sir, you have seen so many, near it. I'm talking of your training days also. Forget about nowadays. I'm talking about your training days. You must have seen so many cases who have been in the deathbed, who are going to die in a few minutes or a few hours or a few days. How they are like, how they behave, how fearful they are. Are they, I'm going to hide. Are they laughing? They are
They want to survive.
everyone to the last minute. और चाहिए, आप पूरा धन ले लो मेरा, मगर मेरा जान बचा। Walt Disney, you know the story of Walt Disney, right? Perfect fool. Be it Walt Disney, be it Michael Jackson, these are the perfect two examples. He wanted to live for 150 years or 250 years, and Walt Disney, he said he never wanted to die. He said, take all the money, you get put scientists on work. And scientists भी चुपचाप खुश थे, ना सर वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट, पैसा आ रहा है ना, बैग को छोड़ेगा, महीना पैसा आ रहा है, तो they were also happy. Scientists were saying working. And the best joke these scientists they got money was Walt Disney's relatives came to them, because 2-3 बार उन्होंने बोला yes sir within 6 months we will be ready with the formula, तो ये लोग को टेंशन, मरा नहीं Walt Disney तो हमको पैसा कब मिलेगा. They went and bribed the scientists. They went and talked to the scientists. Please don't develop this formula. Let him die. For that you take money. So उधर से बचाने का पैसा, इधर से मारने का पैसा. Maximum profit the scientists made. Also all the doctors or inventors who were there working on it. And finally, when Walt Disney died, he died a very fearful death. He didn't want to die. Why doesn't want to die? Because he knows inherently that he has to take birth again. Next birth, we don't know what is going to be. That's a big question mark. That's why एक कहावत है ना, मौत को देख के बिल्ली भी पंजा खोलती है. Even a cat is afraid to die. Any animal, you ask any animal, any yoni, nobody wants to die. But everyone is forced to die. That is why this is important, that one who develops transcendental love for the Lord, that is the benefit. भगवान के पास आने का क्या फायदा है? And he will be freed from the cycle of repeated birth and death. That is the reason. Yes, next verse.
This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasa, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect.
This is another version of understanding the verse. Nigam kalpataro galitam phalam shukam kar davya samyuktam pibat bhagavatam rasamalayam ho rasika bhuvi bhavava. What does this mean? What does this one verse mean? See, the Vedas are has got many branches. Okay, 16 Purana, 18 Puranas, then Agamas, 4 Vedas. So it is like a tree, branched. So many branches in a tree. And वो tree में आपको पूरा रस भरा हुआ है, जैसे कि आम के झाड़ में. मगर आपको आम का डाली तोड़ के खाओ, you will get the flavor of mango. You crush the leaf and you smell it, you will get the flavor of mango, but you will not get the taste of mango. You will only get it when it is from the fruit, and that too when it is ripened. And not only that, when it is tasted by a bird. When a parrot puts its beak on a fruit, it becomes the most tastiest fruit. Most tasteful fruit. That is why it is said that this mango, which has come from the spiritual world, has been given to us by Vyasdev. And what Vyasdev has done?
Taste.
He has given to Shukdev. And Shukdev has
Taste. Poked.
touched the fruit. So that is why it is more tasty. The most tastiest fruit. That is what we have to understand here. Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation of God. How many of you all have read the Uddhav Gita by any chance? Chalo, acha hai. You kept the job for me, no? It's in the 11th canto, don't worry. If I survive till then, I will teach you. Both of us have to survive to read that. Anyone survives is not enough. But in the Bhagavad, 11th canto, Uddhava, being the closest friend of God Krishna, he talks to Krishna. He calls Krishna and he says, when Lord was about to leave for Prabhat Kshetra, that was going to be the end of the Krishna Leela, he told Uddhava. तो उद्धव ने पूछा, अरे आपका अभी आप यहाँ से चले जाओगे तो आपको किस रूप में हम भक्ति कर पाएंगे? You are physically present in front of us, otherwise नहीं possible नहीं. He says, don't worry. It comes in the Mahatmya also. It comes that Lord goes and takes the form of the book. He takes the form of the book. It is said. That is why when Vyasdev is to write, we always say na black and white mein likh do. What is that black? It is nothing but Krishna. That is why the Vyasdev's book is written by black ink. That is nothing other than Krishna himself. So Lord, when the Kali Yuga had come and Lord's Leela was over, he did not leave the planet. He took the form of Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of a book. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri का मतलब कहाँ है? राधा रानी के बगैर कृष्णा रहेंगे. That is why it is called as Srimad Bhagavatam. So he took the form of a book and he fixed himself in the book. And he tells this in Uddhav Gita. He tells कि भाई मैंने in the form of Bhagavat, I have reincarnated myself or have placed myself. So whenever you will read Bhagavatam, you will be getting my darshan and you will be. That is why he says very nicely that Lord, since he has taken part in that, there are various types of murtis. लकड़े का मूर्ति, स्टोन का मूर्ति, मार्बल का मूर्ति, पत्थर का मूर्ति, मट्टी का मूर्ति, metal का मूर्ति, so many types. But this is मूर्ति in the form of a book, the form of a book, in the form of a granth, and that is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why it is very important. So we have just not started Bhagavatam. We are in the station that our plane is going to take off now. It is just in roving around. With the takeoff clearance मिला नहीं. Okay. Oh, last verse. Very nice. Read.
Sri Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the.
Sorry, I have to justify one more thing in this earlier verse, where persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. See, all these are Puranas. क्या होगा?
41 पे
40.
We are 40. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. My mobile rotated. Oh, then I'm sorry. We'll come. Go ahead with 41.
Sri Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized, after extracting the cream of all literatures and histories of the universe.
Next.
Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink.
Take 43 also. Then I'm done.
The Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has risen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana.
So this three verses more or less emphasize on the same thing what we have explained. How Vyasadeva wrote it, then he gave it to Shukdev Goswami, and Shukdev Goswami then gave it to Parikshit Maharaj. And the assembly of all the sages, which was including Narad Muni also, the great Narad Muni, and Vyasadeva himself was sitting there. Vyasadeva himself was sitting and listening to that same Purana. Many people don't know, but it's a fact. Vyasadeva was also sitting and listening. अरे बेटा बोल रहा है बाप सुन रहा है. But then that is why Sukdev Goswami, in the Bhagavad Gita, when we'll be reading further, it will show when Sukdev Goswami was in his mother's womb for 12 years. Then when he came out, finally he was not ready to come out. He said, "No, Maya is going to attack me." Then finally Dwarkadish came and said, "Don't worry, my Maya will not attack you." Because he says, "No, Mama Maya Durataya." So Lord says, "Don't worry, my Maya will not attack you." So he came out. But he didn't even look at his mother. He just took the umbilical cord, roped it around his neck, and he ran straight out into the forest. And the father is shouting. The trees were resounding. Oh my son, please come back. At least say thanks to your mom who was carrying you for so many years." He said, "No, even that will catch me, Maya. Usme bhi Maya aa jayega." He was walking. And वहाँ पे कुछ ladies, young girls, were young girls, small young girls. They were taking bath, the pond. And Vyasadeva went. They all just folded their hands, and Vyasadeva went ahead. Sukdev went ahead, and Vyasadeva came from behind. And the minute they saw Vyasadeva, they immediately covered themselves, whatever clothes they had. So Vyasadeva got wild. My 16-year-old son just now went from here, fully blossomed in youth, so to say. And you young girls, you did not cover yourselves in front of him. You all just folded your hands in front of him. And when I am coming, when I am the age of your grandfather, and you are covering yourselves with my presence. That time the girl said, "See, he is a virakta, but you are a grahastha." And a grahastha differentiates between young, old, boy, girl, male, female. All differentiation a grahastha does, whereas a virakta doesn't do. See, it's the whole ball game goes around this is we have faith, but we don't have bhakti. We have faith. What is the difference between faith and bhakti? What is the difference?
Faith can change. Faith बदल जाते हैं.
नहीं समझो आपका अचल भक्ति है. अब आपका अचल श्रद्धा है तो
मैंने जैसे एग्जाम्पल पढ़ा है कहीं पर कि जैसे क्रिश्चियन है उनको अच्छी तरह समझाओ सिखाओ तो वो लोग हिंदू बन जाएंगे, उनका फेथ बदल जाएगा.
पहले अपने हिंदू थे ना.
नहीं मतलब ऐसे चेंज हो जाएगा फेथ.
ठीक है. No, that's not how I am looking out for. What's the difference between faith and this thing? Yes.
And I'll just try. Faith is like we know that it is going to happen. मतलब एक faith है कि भाई ये होगा. But when we have bhakti, we will make sure that it happens.
Wow. Make sure that it happens.
We don't have the love. Bhakti is not. The love is not there.
See, first and foremost, simple understanding. In faith, all of us have got faith. God is great.
God is there. He's there.
He is the ultimate, He is the supreme, He is the controller, blah blah, everything. You all can write books on that. Yes, I got full faith. But what is bhakti?
Surrender. There is no surrender.
Blind.
There is only blind faith भी नहीं है. Blindness towards faith है. There is no blind faith also. There is blindness towards faith, but there is never bhakti, no surrender. We don't want to surrender. Agreed, प्रभु माना भगवान सुप्रीम. But मेरा नौकरी क्यों नहीं दिया? मेरा शादी क्यों नहीं हुआ? मेरा प्रमोशन क्यों नहीं हुआ? मेरा. We are still distinct ourselves, different from God. The day when you consider, no, I am a gopi, I have to serve God. I am a Gopal, I have to serve God. I am a servant. Then there is no problem. But the problem is, we are all stuck with our own faith. But we don't want to develop devotional service. Bhakti हम लोग develop नहीं कर So Vyasadev, he gave it in a serial wise. It came to Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev gave it to the Parishit Maharaj, and Parishit Maharaj in the bank of Ganga, awaiting death without food and drink. Important question. 5 minutes more. I hope everyone, or like Parishit Maharaj, without food and water, ready to stand. 5 minutes more. Okay. Why this specific line? Without food and water. Why? Food and drink.
Because of his thirst, he has put the snake on.
Very nice. Perfect answer. Because he knew, because of his thirst, when he went for hunting, Parishit Maharaj put the snake around the neck of the sage. So immediately he realized, okay, I came under the sway of my senses. So I have to control my senses, and senses cannot be controlled that easily. You have to forcefully control your senses. You have to forcefully control your senses. That is why, without taking food and water, food and drink, you are sitting there. That's why many times Shukdev Goswami said, "अरे कुछ खाना है तो खा लो, कुछ पीना है तो पी लो. आपका कथामृत से मेरा पेट भर. हमारा आपका कथामृत से मेरा पेट भर रहा है. I am not interested in eating any food. In fact, in Bhagavad Mahatma, the story comes when Indradev came with this pot of amrit, and he said, "आप ये दे दो, अमृत पिलाओ परीक्षित महाराज को, लंबा जिएंगे. आप हमको भागवतामृत दे दो." Shukdev Goswami was silent. He didn't say anything. But Parikshit Maharaj knew he was not a fool. He was intelligent. मगर हम लोग यहाँ क्या है? We are also fools. We want to have amrit, and they don't take also. Give it. They don't take the Bhagavatam. What is the question of giving Bhagavatam? We don't want to take. We are interested in only taking the so-called worldly amrit, which is actually there in the end. It is going to lead to. Okay.
Last verse.
No, 1 minute. 2.43. So in this verse, Krishna Swadhama Upagate, very important verse. That's why I'm reading the Sanskrit shloka of it. Krishna Swadhama Upagate, Dharma Jnana Vivisaha, Kalau Nashta Darsam Esa, Puranarko Dunoditaha. What does this verse mean? It says the Bhagavad Puran is the brilliant sun and is risen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. People who have lost their vision in the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. इस भागवतम से ही आपको ज्ञान का लाइट मिलने वाला है. Otherwise, this is Kali Yuga. Not Kali Yuga. It is Kali Yuga. पूरा कुछ काला है. सिर्फ लाइट लगा के बताना पड़ता है. Otherwise, the whole युग is लोग भी काले हैं. मतलब बाहर से भले गोरे हो, मन से so this is Kali. Okay, last verse.
O learned Brahmana, when Shukdev Goswami recited Bhagavatam, there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard it with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it.
3 things, important points which you have to understand in this verse. So Lord when Vyasadeva says that when Shukdev, this is actually Suta Goswami speaking this. So what is Suta Goswami saying? O learned Brahmanas, when he is talking to the 88,000 rishis who are at Naimisharanya. Suta Goswami is talking to 88,000 rishis at Naimisharanya. और वो क्या बोल रहे हैं? O learned Brahmanas, when Shukdev Goswami recited Bhagavatam, कहाँ पे? To Parikshit Maharaj at in the Tata of Ganga, Shukta. That in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard with rapt attention. तो यहाँ पे they in those days they were all Shruti Dharas. एक बार बोल लिया, सुन लिया. आज लोग कैसे बार बार बोलो फिर भी सुनते हैं. That is the difference. And कितना भी बोल लो उनके पल्ले नहीं पड़ेगा. with rapt attention. Thus, by his mercy, second, एक तो सुना और दूसरा कृपा of the speaker should be there, guru should be there. So, speaker, and by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam, and from that great powerful sage. Now I shall try. Now, what is he saying? मेरा माल नहीं बोल रहा. He is telling who is the actual person who is given it. नहीं तो आजकल की कथाकार क्या बोलते हैं? मैं समझाता हूँ अपने स्टाइल में, and then they say some nonsense story, and they within first क्या first 9 cantos कुछ काम का नहीं है. Let's talk about the 10th canto only. सीधा 10वां स्कंद में चले जाएंगे कृष्ण के पैदा होने से, और वो भी फटाफट खत्म करके रास लीला में 1-2 दिन बोलेंगे, 4 दिन बोलेंगे, नो प्रॉब्लम, लोगों को भी मजा आ रहा है. And then he is not. What is saying? What is Sutta Goswami saying? I am not adding anything. As Bhagavad Gita is as it is, this Bhagavatam has to be as it is, without putting his personal interpretations. He is saying, and now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I heard it from him and as I have realized it. And his realization is because of the mercy of Sukadeva Goswami. So this is how right now we are going to enter into the actual scene of Bhagavatam. First canto is just the initial part, and इसमें अभी तो I don't know कुंती स्तुति, भीष्म स्तुति, उसमें सब कितना दिन जाएगा, कितना महीना जाएगा मालूम नहीं है. But let's hope. I have to buck up my speed, otherwise it will be too slow. But definitely we have to justify and learn and assimilate things and then rectify our life accordingly. नहीं तो बस रावण की तरह क्या हनुमान जी क्या मुक्का मारा, प्रभु जी क्या कथा दिया, बढ़िया कथा, पर घर में जाके वही प्रभु जी क्या प्याज लहसुन छूटता नहीं, चाय कॉफी छूटती नहीं है, और बाकी आदतें भी खून में छोड़ने की. Okay, so with this we would like to end today's session. Close the blessing. Anybody has got any doubts, questions, can ask.